We're good. Hello, welcome. As I hear some more silence. Come forward. This is my first time with a mic, so it kind of sounds weird listening to myself. Can you hear us online, Sally? Yeah, great, thanks. Perfect. Thank you very much, and welcome to June Satuccino 2023. I'll start recording if that's okay, Rob. Thanks. Thank you for being patient. I know we're a bit behind schedule. We've had some IT issues, no surprise. But I see a lot of new faces in the room, which is really nice to see. So welcome if you're new. My name is Joanne. I'm the business engagement lead here at the Catapult. And I do everything in terms of new businesses. How can we at the Catapult support you and grow in your journey in the space sector? So today we have a few different speakers online and in person, not as much as usual because we think everyone is at Spacecom Expo. So an extra thank you for coming here instead, but whoever's there tomorrow, I will see you there. I think that's everything from me. Other than that is that I wasn't here last month, so I do want to give a big thank you to Anna who hosted instead. And that's it, I'll get through. And now we have Paul from an independent consultant. Let me just get on to that. Paul will be joining us online, so hopefully this goes smoothly.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I did send through a slide. I don't know if that's available for people to see. There we go. Yeah, so my name is Paul Turner-Smith. I'm currently working at the intersection of nature-based solutions, including Earth observation, and equity, diversity, and inclusion in developed economies. And I'm joining you from Switzerland to talk about the European Commission, the EC's pioneering Union for Equality study of workplace equality, diversity, and inclusion, ED&I, in the space sector. And once I've talked to you about some of the findings, I'll reflect on why this subject is so important and what can be done to make improvements. So I should say up front that I've not been involved in this study and I'm not connected to the EC. Pre-Brexit, I was the UK Space Agency's lead on Galileo, the global navigation satellite system. And I've been involved in the space sector's the so-called democratization of data in the US and in Europe. And I'm interested in inclusivity right across the space value chain. You can't hear Gil Scott-Heron's 1970 spoken word poem, Whitey on the Moon, and not become engaged. So let's turn to the efforts to understand workplace ED&I in Europe's defence, aeronautics and space sectors. Sadly, the EC survey found a general lack of ED&I in employment and lack of gender balance, along with evidence of widespread discriminatory behaviour. Protective legislation and historical factors may mean that the UK performs better than some other European countries, but regulation should not act as a flaw, should act as a flaw and not as a ceiling. And complacency in itself can impact performance in this area. So some of the key findings were that women and people from minority groups were highly underrepresented. Around half of employee respondents did not believe that their companies treated everyone equally, or that all employees enjoyed the same opportunities in the workplace. There was a lack of diversity among employees, primarily in terms of sexual orientation, religious backgrounds, and disabilities. And at the management level, there was a lack of diversity related to age, gender, and ethnic and cultural backgrounds. 2/3 of the employers surveyed had ED&I values embedded in their mission, but only half had strategies in place to ensure fair and equal treatment at work. And this matters because a lack of diversity in the space industry impedes the sector's ability to do its job, to innovate, to solve problems, and to address the needs of rapidly changing global population, which is facing multiple severe challenges. Poor ED&I practice impacts growth, can be expensive, especially where discrimination is present. The 2017 McGregor-Smith review estimated that race-based discrimination in employment has been costing the UK 1.3% of GDP, that's around £24 billion each year. So it's worth familiarising yourself with this EC report and its recommendations. Initiatives flowing from this will impact ESA programmes and members, including the UK and its space industry. Let's look at some solutions. Unfortunately, improving ED&I in the workplace doesn't have to be a distraction from your core mission. ED&I is not about box ticking, and it shouldn't be onerous. Celebrating actions to increase equity, increase diversity in your workforce, and to make your workplace a more inclusive place can help you to achieve your goals. Employers in the space sector are already more likely to adopt multilingual signage in the workplace than the defence and aeronautics sectors. And they're also more inclined to promote cultural diversity through intercultural events. Adopting initiatives related to pay gap reporting, to ED&I learning, fair recruitment processes, and inclusive language in the workplace could all be low-hanging fruit that help the space sector draw level with and go beyond other sectors. McGregor-Smith recommended that any organisation that is publicly funded should set and publish targets to ensure they are representative of the taxpayers they deliver for, and that has implications for the space industry where there's sort of public funding. Specialists can work with HR operations to enable change, but the best results often come from ongoing efforts that are embedded in the culture of your organisation. So I encourage you all, have a look at the full report. We'll got the link there. Think about what the findings mean for you and for your organisation and stakeholders. Think about what actions you can take to build an inclusive and diverse space sector that's fit for the future and growing at its full potential. I'm very happy to take any questions, or feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'd love to discuss the topic further and work with you on your journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's nice to hear about people talking about people rather than innovation and trying to strive forward, but actually we really need to care about our culture and our people. So it was a pleasure to have you as our keynote for June Satuccino. We're going to get into the usual 60-second pitches and bring you back in the room. We have Chris from Harwell Communications. I will give you this. And X marks the spot so everyone at home can see you in the outcome.
Thanks. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. I represent Harwell Communications. We're largely based in Luxembourg, but work across Europe, including the UK. I head up the content and public policy team. So what we do at Harwell is we largely work within the space sector, but also semiconductors and public financing. And we find that space is a very exciting and innovative place to work. But when we work with organizations like we have with Ariane Group, with ESA Harwell campus here today, but also across Europe, we found that policymakers, decision makers that aren't involved in space day to day often get lost and perhaps a little bit over confused in terms of what space actually brings to people, to Europe, to the world, and day to day. So what we do, we break down these really interesting and exciting technologies, products, innovations, and make them palatable for the larger public, policymakers, and also reach out to media as well. And so, yeah, just wanted to share that with you today, and maybe we can work together on your exciting product, innovation, and yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to reach out on LinkedIn, Harwell Communications, or myself, Chris Pore. So yeah, keep it short and sweet. Thanks for listening. Cheers.
Thanks very much, Chris. Keeping it in the room, we have Sonali just over the road from STFC.
Yeah, perfect. Hi everyone, I'm Sonali. I am one of the innovation sector leads at the National Quantum Computing Center, which is just down the road, as Joanne mentioned. So basically, I wanted to introduce you to the National Quantum Computing Center, which is a relatively new national lab set up over the last 2 years under the National Quantum Technologies Program by the Government of UK. In the first stage of the first 10 years of funding, five years of funding till 2025, we were funded 93 million to set up a facility and to fill up a key gap in the UK ecosystem of scaling and making the economy quantum ready. So under that mandate, we basically work across a range of sectors, space being one of my priority sectors, because I used to work in the space sector previously and used to come to the Satuccinos quite frequently as well. So I work to support the user journey, working with various organizations and companies to help them understand what are the low-lying fruits, what are the use cases that could lend themselves to quantum computing, or whether we can look at quantum computing at HPC kind of hybrid solutions, quantum computing and AI hybrid solutions. Where does quantum computing kind of fit into your processes, business processes, and whether we can support that journey to then take you from awareness to identification, assessment, and validation of those use cases, and then making those businesses and organizations somewhat operationally independent in terms of working in quantum over the next 3 to 5 years. You might have seen the National Quantum Strategy document as well published recently, which again has invested further a large sum of amount to go into the quantum technologies program. Under that, we currently have a expression of interest open for a testbed call, and we often have various different kind of calls open where we provide application engineer support or innovation lead support to help your organization understand and start upskilling into quantum. We can also provide technical support as well. And in the near future, we are very much looking forward to have our final facility open here, where we will be able to provide access to state-of-the-art quantum computing facilities for rapid prototyping and testing and validation and benchmarking activities. So if you're interested to understand how quantum computing can help your businesses and where does that fit into your business processes, please do feel free to drop me a message either in LinkedIn or over my email there. We're happy to set up a call, happy to look at the use cases and help you also build that evidence base that you might require to get executive buy-in to understand quantum. But I'll just leave with a message that basically there is an early movers advantage to understanding what quantum computing could be bringing to your business starting from now, because a lot of people are already starting to get into the game, and it's crucial to understand what does scaling of these problems look like going forward in the future when we would have commercial quantum computers over the next 3 to 5 years. Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Okay, and now we have Satellite Applications Catapult very own Lorraine to talk about facilities.
You didn't tell me there was even a microphone.
I didn't know either.
Okay, so they say a picture paints 1,000 words. So here's 15,000 words. We have 94 capabilities available to hire. Not many people know that. People see the Electron building and feel that is our main centre to come and use facilities. So between Harwell and Westcott, we have 94 capabilities that anyone can hire and get access to. The capabilities are there to help you, the sector, get over your barriers to market. So hire it for a day, a week, a month, or even on a longer, semi-longer term basis. That's absolutely fine. So over the next 6 months, what you'll see is my team popping into the Satuccinos to talk about different capability areas. So our capability areas range from robotics through to RF, through to satellite, antenna test, manufacture, clean rooms. Some of the facilities that you see behind me are our key ones. So really just wanted to make you all aware there's 2 different funding mechanisms to access our facilities at the moment. One is the Innovate UK 15k Edge vouchers. You can see Nushin in the room, you can see Zoe in the room, or you can see myself if you want some more information on that. The links to that funding will go out with the wrap-up of Satuccino, as well as the Westcott Incubator Accelerator Programme, which is always open for applicants. I think there's a current round going on You can see Zoe about that in the room, or myself, and again, the link to that will follow. So really just wanted to say, you know, here we are. Please do get in touch. All of our facility and capabilities are on our website. If you've got any questions, any problems, you need any support, please do reach out.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move it online now, and we have Sally from Space for Climate. If you unmute yourself, you should show up.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm Sally, and I've got lots of positive news to share today from Space for Climate. First up is the opportunity to join our online climate services directory. There's no charge, just fill in the online form, and for any assistance, please email my colleague Shannon. The directory is promoted at all of our events, and that's national and international, so don't miss this opportunity. I have two pieces of funding news. The first is a heads up that very shortly we'll be announcing a new Space for Climate funding opportunity with the UK Space Agency. Now, this is an exciting new concept. It's a for the community, by the community collaboration initiative to unite to lower barriers to the adoption of satellite-based climate services. And this is across 4 climate critical services: climate finance, greenhouse gas emissions, agriculture and energy. Now, this isn't in the public domain yet, and I don't have any more details, but we did want to give this group the heads up. So do look out for the full details coming on our online platforms on Twitter and LinkedIn, as well as our website over the coming weeks. Now, this funding is in addition to the UK Space Agency Climate Services Development funding that we published the other week, which is for projects using satellite Earth observation data to progress pre-commercial climate services, and you can bid for up to £55,000. The money can be used to access either information resources needed to progress the development of your proposed climate services, to enhance an existing climate service, or reach new customers by expanding a proposed climate service offering. So successful projects must use satellite EO data and must in some way progress the development of a climate service. Now, all these details are on the UK Space Agency website, and there is a press release on the Space for Climate website as well. Now, around the same time, we also announced that the UK's first 2 projects to be accepted onto the International Space Climate Observatory have been accepted, and those projects are Strata and Space for Nature. This story is on our website news page too, so do read that news. And there's also a link to more about the Space for Climate Observatory if that's not on your radar yet. Space for Climate is the UK focal point for applying to be accepted onto it. And we will be announcing another window of opportunity to apply, I think in Q3 to 4 this year. The last thing I wanted to say is that you can see we are very busy at Space for Climate. We're now at 61 members. If you're a member already, do make sure you're signed up to our newsletter. Just email me. If you're not a member and you are a UK organisation using climate data from space for climate action, then do visit our website to apply. You don't necessarily need to pay a fee to join, and it offers fantastic access across stakeholders, funders, government agency, academia and research. In other news, we're still working closely with the UK COP28 government team to collate UK Earth observation expertise to present at COP28. And this will be our 3rd COP. So that's another reason to get in touch. And my email is s.stevens, stevens, @reading.ac.uk. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Sally. If there's one thing I've learned about doing Satuccino for the past year, is that the space industry is incredibly busy, and you've just proven that right there. But hopefully one of you here will reach out today. The last but not least, we also have online is Oliver from the Structural Battery Company.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good.
Great, thank you. So I'm Oliver Burstall from the Structural Battery Company, and we make structural batteries. Do what it says on the tin. The premise here is that the battery is integrated into structural components of the vehicle, and our key markets are automotive, aerospace, and marine. We've just launched our first car on the 13th of May, and we're showing both the car and a drone, including structural batteries, at the Paris Air Show in a couple of weeks' time. So given that I've just talked about aero, marine, and automotive, what am I doing in the room here? I had a conversation recently with one of our colleagues at Cranfield University who was complaining bitterly about getting batteries into CubeSats. So naturally, the question from us was, well, would it be a bit easier if the batteries were a structure of the spacecraft as opposed to you trying to find a place to fit them in? You get better power density and energy density, you save volume, you save mass. The answer immediately was yes. And after a couple of conversations with the UK Space Catapult, I was asked to come and give a quick brief to everyone here so that if there's any interest, please come and have a conversation about it. It could be that there's an interesting shift from the marketplaces we're already working in into the space marketplace. My email address is oliver.burstall@thestructuralbatterycompany.com. Please feel free to get in touch if what we've talked about sounds of interest. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's all of our speakers today that we had lined up. We do still have a few minutes left. Is there any one person that wants to come up and give a quick 60 seconds? Everyone was looking at each other. I'm going to take that as a no. Sometimes you have some confident people.
I would say confident people, but
I'll just leave it on this side for you.
perfect. Hi, I'm Simone Hartless. I'm head of cluster growth here at Satellite Applications Catapult. And just wanted to give you some news hot off the press, literally half an hour before I came into Satuccino, hence why I hadn't already booked a slot. But we have been developing an investor launchpad as a microsite of our Space Enterprise Community platform. That is in the shape of 6 UK-wide capabilities propositions, everything from space sustainability to space manufacturing, Earth and climate intelligence. And those resources are available online now, but we are hoping to have investor launchpad webinar over 2 sessions for the international markets in Asia and also in the US to look for collaborations for inward investor across the whole of the UK, and those will take place on the 18th of July. So now I'm on the spot, I hopefully have the details that will be shared as part of the Satuccino mail out. So thanks.
Thank you very much, Simone. As mentioned, yeah, we will send everything around in the email afterwards. So all the emails that everyone's mentioned, all of the different projects and more will be on the Space Enterprise community and in the email that we send around to you. If you're signed up to our marketing, we don't send too many, but that's it. Other than that, I have a few minutes left and I was searching through some news this morning. I thought I'd share a few pieces if anyone would like to hear. I'm going to go for it anyway. We have some of our data expert today, which we probably need to look at some of the news. It turns out as of May, Copernicus program is 25 years old this year. So that made me think of our data expert team. Probably wouldn't comment on how many people are older than that or younger than the program, but I definitely won't go near that. Our national satellite testing facility, which is just over the road if anyone's based in Harwell, has its first customer, which is Airbus, and so that will be operating at the end of this year, and then fully operational, I believe, in 2024, which is really exciting to bring more things to Harwell. And Gemma, the Harwell customer manager, who is usually here, yeah, she's here, operates on a lot of that, and she's been running around today giving so many different tours to amazing people that are coming to Harwell. So hopefully you can meet everyone in the room today as well after I finish talking. And one last thing is the UK Space Agency have announced their £50 million fund for space infrastructure. You've probably seen a lot of this going around, but if you want to check it out, it will be on the email afterwards, and that closes on the 5th of July. And that is it from me. We have 2 minutes left, so I will leave you to the coffee and the projects. Thank you very much.